I've actually landed it. So here's the bead. Just there we go. There's a fly there. There's a fish. Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. If you probably see at the beginning of the video, actually you'll see me obviously hooked a salmon on this small nymph here, and wasn't intentional. I wasn't out to catch the salmon, but it just shows you that these type of nymphs, if you swing them like any other fly, no matter what size they are, even though this is a size 18 and this is what I caught on, I thought it was actually bigger, but it's actually this hook here I caught it on. It was a 2.4mm bead fly. Now I do have it, I'm sure I have it on YouTube, but I'm going to answer a couple of questions recently I got asked, and basically it was about what CDC is the best to buy. What is the best CDC to buy? Jesus, there's a few companies I've used over the years. Company wise, I mean, there's Pat Nolan, Premier Angling, do a premium CDC. There's Mark Pettijohn, he's famous for his CDC. It's probably one of the main well, Mark, he's promoted CDC more than anyone, I would say, in the world. He's introduced the fibre and the styles, the flies, patterns, designs. You've no idea. He's got endless nymphs and patterns. So a lot of credit to Mark. I can only go with what I've experienced. Like originally, obviously, like a lot of people, I first started buying CDC from, it was actually a trout fishery. It was a Moffat fishery, just the borders of Scotland and England. They were a small game as well as a small fishery. They sold game and decided to obviously plot the ducks that was getting shot, and the CDC, you could buy it in packs of £5 for a big pack. It was really good with an actual CDC. But one of the main questions was what CDC what's the best to buy. It's basically to use in flies where it would dries, in this case nymphs, because it can be used, it's not just for dry flies, it's a very good fibre for nymphs, and even wet flies. I recently tied a fly using blue for though I haven't got blue from from Full and Mill, but blue was used. I mean, I used the oranges and yellows, I mean all the different colours, and tied when I used to design flies for companies. I've done a few companies over the years. In the company it was a teal, blue and silver, or a medicine fly. And it's got a few different names, the part of the world you're in. But it's a very good universal colour combination that works. But the CDC gives a lot of movement to a fly, no matter how you use it, whether it's the dubbing, whether it's the hackle, whether it's the wing, or so on. So it'll help either lots of ways to float the fly, or even make the fly more lifelike, and that's what CDC does, especially in nymphs. So anyway, colours, I would stick to all the sort of natural colours, whether it be dyed, meaning like if it, in this case that's a brown olive, it's quite a dark brown olive, it's a nice colour. I've got the natural, and this is one, I mean this is a kind of like very tan, it's not pure grey, whereas the duck especially is very grey like, there's lots of colours. Obviously black is a natural colour in nature, so I would buy black, much as I would buy white. Olives, yellows, there's a white, that's a, I mean it's natural white when you get it from a duck. Well, it will be close to that, but this one's been high. It's well cleaned, so it's nice and bright. You can either dye it to suit a colour you like. Sunburst, It's a sunburst colour. Very good colour to mix and blend. It's very good for the yellow maize. Sulphur dun, some would recognise it as. Yellow Sally, for that. Yellow Sally is a stonefly. And they go on and on. Pink highlights. I use pink, much this pattern as well, especially for grayling. Grayling love pink. And the brown trout take it as well. Orange, in this case I think this is a fluorescent orange. And no, it's fluorescent orange. It's got a peachy colour to it. Just we highlights that in flies, whether it be a dry or whether it even be certain nymphs. And in nature, this is colour of egg. So if you mix it into an egg-like pattern, it will work. It's got a bit of movement. It's got the colour depth. To see lots of colours, even there's fluorescent yellow. Again, it's just a highlight. Again, you could add it to a fly, and it could be it could be a sighter for your fly. You could add it into a natural pattern so you could just see it instead of using, say, a floss. So there's lots of ways you could be using CDC. So anyway, what we'll do is zoom in and let you see this small nymph. This is just a very basic nymph. Here's the ear version. This I'm using the cinnamon dyed colour. This is one of the feathers here. It's a full and mill cinnamon. It's quite a nice brown. I mean, it's one of the first colours I picked up. I like the colour. Suits the hare's ear as well. You could change the colour to yellow. Yellow's good in this pattern. Kind of sunburst yellow. Just lighter at the back, but this, as I say, is a good wee nymph pattern. Now, hook choice is if I can hold it up for you, but I'll let you see it again. This is a full and mill jig force. Now, you don't have to tie in a jig. You can tie in a basic standard nymph type hook, something that you like using personally. This is just a standard bead. It's a 2.4 tungsten bead, this one, and it's easy to use. You can use the slotted beads, you can use the drop beads. Just use what you have. Don't have to be forced to use certain things. You tie to suit yourself. I say this is a size 18. I'm using a brown thread. This one, I'll let you see it. This is a full and mill. This is a Pro Thread Twisted. It's a new thread. I've just started using it in the last couple of months. Very similar to the Uni 80, so it suits me to a T because I used the threads, the Uni threads, and I still do it. Now, to use up a feather like this now, you can either have a tailless fly or just use tail or cork fibres or whatever. You could use the tip of the hackle for a hackle, so the tip of the feather for a hackle. But one of the fly, this wee nymph I've tied, has the CDC in the tail, so that's how I'm going to tie it. So first thing is I draw in the fibre to get the wee tuft at the back for the tail. Tail length can be short, long, suit yourself. It's just a wee kick at the back of the fly. It gives it a tiny bit of movement. Trim this. Now this is going to be your dubbin. You can either use it raw or you can blend it into the dubbin you're using. Now I'm going to be using for the body, this is hare's mask. This is taken for the darker part of the head, just trimmed away and then blended, so you get this nice kind of like a hare's ear mask type mix. Really good. But anyway, I'm going to put that in the body, but I'm going to rib it with in this case, a tinsel. This is just a small gold tinsel. So I'm going to catch this in, run my thread up at least 2/3 of the way, come back down, and then I'm going to take some of the hare's fur, or the hare's mask anyway. You dub it on. Dub's on easy. Once you blend it, it's very easy to dub. And then we just form a shape. You can be as thin, thick, depending on the pattern you like to tie. How you like your flies as well. You want to have a thin bodied fly as well as one that's quite much like this. It's a suggestive type pattern, this that gives the impression of a few flies. So bring your rib up through, you're looking 4 or 5 turns, screw it in, bend and break away. Now you can keep it the way it is, you can trim it back a wee bit, it's entirely up to yourself. I would usually keep it the way it is. And then, like up here, as I say, you could have used the tip for a hackle instead of a tail, but then what I do is I remove the fibre, I set it on my desk. I usually like to trim it away rather than tear it off, and the reason for that is that, I'll just show you the tip. If you tear off the fibre, you get these wee curly ends. Sometimes, especially further down you go, up the top's not too bad, but these wee curly ends that go white sometimes, and I don't like to see them. Not that it's going to make much or huge difference, but I just like to trim it. And then we take more of our dubbing, take our CDC fibre, looking 50-50 blend. Just mix it within your fingers. You'll get more than one nymph out of this. Now you could use this for the whole of the fly. Just start at the back, all the way up, and then bring the rib up through. Tidy up the head area with a wee bit of dubbing. You can make a dubbing loop if you want. You could put this in, split the thread. You can do the same. But this winds. This is fine. It just dubs on, very easy. Just run it up. Quite loose. I like it right quite loose, and then I got them down a wee bit. I mean, I'm just forming the thorax using the dubbing. Running the thread through it will basically rib it. And then it's just a simple, just ignore things at this point. Just varnish the thread a wee bit before you hit finish. This will seal it. Trim away. And that's basically a ball of fluff, as they say. But then you can change the way it looks. You can trim away some of these stiff fibres, a wee bit too stiff. You want to trim some of them out. Always wait till you finish the fly before you start to get a look at it, get an idea. The velcro through it helps to give it a wee bit of shape. You can take out the extra long fibre. So it's looking better now. And there we are. That's basic wee nymph pattern tied with, as I say, one colour. You have lots of colours of CDC. You can change them to whatever, yellows, olives, you name it, even black. Pure black is fine. It will represent some sort of fly, some sort of nymph. Just going to trim this underneath here a wee bit to get a shape. So you can mess around with it. Same here on the underside, so you'll get some sort of taper. You could have messed up a wee bit, but I think that looks fine. Again, a wee brush just to tidy up the cut ends. This will just soften them a wee bit. And there we go. Simple wee fly. As I say, it's up to you how you tie it. As I say, colour combinations. And you can add, here's dubbing I've mixed up. You can add a wee bit of UV, a wee bit of flash through it. Much like here, you could add whatever you like. So anyway, folks, I hope you enjoyed that. And like always, thanks for watching. Until next time.